What's up guys, it's me Devin, aka your favorite urban gardener, also known as Plant Vibes, and today I wanted to highlight some Iris Germanica, the bearded iris. In particular, some ReBlooming iris that bloom in the springtime and then again in the summertime and maybe even in the fall depending on where you live. And the thing about these ReBlooming German bearded iris, here I'll get a little flower so you can see what they look like. So these over time have been hybridized and bred to become some of the most vigorous, highly performing iris that you can grow. And as such, they will often outgrow their space and need to be divided every 2, 3, maybe 4 years if you're pushing it. Because if you don't divide it when they need to, they will start to kind of get just like, they won't flower very well. And then when they're not flowering well, why even have it in your garden? So first thing, when you notice that it's time to divide your iris, what you do is you want to dig up your little patch. So you can see there's 3 main fans here, 1, 2, and 3. So I kind of already loosened the soil up so that I could easily dig it out. So first thing you do is you dig it out of the soil. From here you see all of these nice little roots. Just kind of like get the roots, clean it off, and as you can see, like I was saying, we got 3 fans, 1 fan, 2 fans, and 3 fans. So each one of these fans is going to become its own brand new plant. So honestly, what you can do is you can just literally, just kind of like, I'll take my little shears, and I will honestly just cut right into it, dividing it. So I just made this nice little new section, and with these other ones I'm going to do the same thing. So this is the first thing. You want to make sure that each one of your new divisions has a fan, and you know, if you accidentally ruin one of them, it doesn't matter because you're going to have more. Like this one, I just kind of did a crap job, accidentally cut right into it, so I'm not going to replant that one. I'm just going to discard it. It doesn't matter because they produce new ones so quickly and so often that you'll have more to divide later. So now I have this nice thing. Next thing you want to do, you take your scissors and you want to cut down on that fan, leaving maybe 2 inches or so. And this is going to help it. Having less foliage means that it's not going to need as much energy when it's getting situated to kind of like keep those pieces of foliage intact. So now you have this brand new little section that you just created. I'll do the other one as well. And I just turned that one section into 2 brand new sections. And the thing about iris, when you're planting them, the Iris Germanica, the bearded iris, you see how there's kind of like, you know, all of these different, this foliage, it grows in one direction. It's not like a daylily that just kind of grows in all of the directions at the same time. It's going to grow in one direction. So you can see if I planted one like this and one like this, they would kind of like grow into each other. So it's important you want to plant them with the fans facing the same way, especially if you're going to be planting them on like a border along in front of a retaining wall. You want to plant them so that the fans are facing outward so that they grow in the correct direction. So that's the next thing. So now that I have these 2 brand new plants, they are ready to plant. I have my container. This could just as easily be right in the soil. And like I was saying, planting them in the same direction is so important. This one is kind of just falling off, so I'm going to throw it out. I'm actually going to plant them kind of around in a circle so that this container fills out and has flowers coming all the different directions. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take it, you know, imagine I just divided it, I let it dry out for 4 to 5 days. That's important. You don't want to go back and replant it right away. Give it a couple days to dry out. It's going to harden up, and what that's going to mean, it's going to be less susceptible to any sort of diseases that it may come in contact with through this process. So these sort of bearded iris, they love the hot, sunny conditions. If you plant them too deeply, 1, they're not going to flower. 2, they're probably going to rot and they're going to die, and then you're going to be out of money and you're going to be out, you lost that time. It's going to be a real drag. So you really want to plant these in a way so that about 75% of this area is underground and 25% is above ground. So I'm just going to take it. You see the roots go down. Take it, nestle it in here, just barely. When in doubt, the shallower is the better. You see, I just barely planted it in there. I'm gonna take this next one, and because I wanna make this sort of ring around the container, I'm gonna plant it so that the fans are kind of pointing in the outward direction of around the container. And so then I'm gonna plant this next one, and you can see I'm just barely putting it under the soil. If you planted it like 2 inches deep, that's gonna be too much. And then I have this other one right here that's gonna round off, make this little gorgeous trifecta. And right there. From here, you wanna give it some nice water. Water it in deeply. That's gonna eliminate any air pockets that may have sort of been created in the process in your soil. So watering it in heavily and deeply right now is very important, but then let it really dry out. Let it dry out for maybe 7-10 days, depending on where you live. And from there, give it water while it's establishing on a normal basis, not too often though, because they like the really hot, dry conditions. And then once these plants are established by the 2nd or 3rd season, they will be exceptionally drought tolerant plants. You really rarely need to water them. And that's what we love about the German bearded iris, is they're very tolerant of drought. But these ones in particularly, because they're rebloomers, they're gonna bloom in the springtime, like always, and then they're also gonna bloom again in the summertime. And if you have really long Indian summers, they're gonna probably bloom again in the early fall. So these reblooming iris, they're such a game changer in the iris world, and we've loved iris for centuries, and this is just going to really revigorate your absolute adoration for the iris. Check out these reblooming bearded iris. You will not regret it. Anyway, I'm Devin, aka Plant Vibes, your favorite urban gardener.